Hey guys, Bowie here. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I have that fuzzy feeling when, some cool stuff starts showing up in the patch. And today we're talking about Meteor Hammer Spectre. I noticed this trend on Dota 2 Pro Tracker yesterday, but unfortunately, I was already making the Scotty Ember Spirit video I dropped yesterday. Well, why the hell would anyone rush Meme Hammer on Spectre, you might ask? The answer is actually really simple, and it starts with the changes to Wraith Bands, Bracers, and Talismans. The beauty of those items was that you could farm really well with them. Not only you would be able to harass better, get CS better in lane, sometimes you would see, IG heroes buying 3 of them. But they were nerfed to the ground since their rework, and in this patch, they were nerfed one more time. And I think they are even worse for some heroes. You basically get less strength, less intelligence, which are things Spectre actually really needs to farm faster, and you even get less agility in exchange for armor, which is not really what you need on this hero, especially early on. Let's recap how a normal Spectre would build in the last patch. Usually, you would get 2 Wraith Bands and 1 Soul Ring. Oh, Soul Ring is another hero that now gives armor instead of HP regen, and because of it, it is way less interesting for Spectre. That small HP regen meant that even though Spectre was losing HP to farm faster, she was recovering about 40% of the HP lost with the Soul Ring alone, and unfortunately, armor is not gonna recover your HP. In combination, 2 Wraith Bands and 1 Soul Ring cost almost 1.8k gold. And alright, I know what you're thinking, Bowie, but you can just get the HP regen talent and you're gonna be fine. And the thing is, you're probably gonna get your Soul Ring when you're level 6. And to get from level 6 to level 10, it actually takes a long ass time. And during that time, you're either gonna be 100 HP just praying you don't get found in jungle, or even if they don't find you, you're not gonna be able to haunt and assist your team. And even if you buy regen, then you're just like wasting more time. And here's where we're gonna get. I was saying, it gives you no HP regen, and this is really important because as soon as you leave the lane, you're gonna be tanking jungle creeps left and right. And when a haunt situation presents itself, if you're 40% HP, you're either going for haunt and maybe die, which is awful, or you will not haunt, meaning your team might lose a fight, or you're gonna get a late radiance because you're not using the true potential of your hero. You also get 6 mana regen, if you account for 150 mana every 25 seconds, but that's also minus 6 HP regen from the Soul Ring. You also get 10 strength, 10 agility, which is nice, 4 intelligence, and a little bit of attack speed and armor. If you go for Meteor Hammer, you get 6.25 HP regen, 2.5 mana regen, 8 stats, all stats. More importantly than all, you can increase your farming speed in a way no other item in the game can give you. Not only that, when you rush the Meteor Hammer, you can get a Ring of Health early, and that item makes up for a lot of tangles you would buy in the laning stage. As a Spectre, you would probably get 4 or 5 regen items before you leave the lane, and that is potentially 500 gold, 600 gold-ish that you save. And if that was not enough, by getting the early Perseverance in the laning stage, you have the ability to adapt. In this game, for instance, Mu could have gone for the Meteor Hammer, but his lane was easy enough that he decided to get a Battle Fury. So not only you're getting a pretty easy lane where the harass is not gonna matter as much to you, but you can even play greedier if you want to. Now let's get back to Midone though. He gets a 7-minute Meme Hammer, and his HP regen is 13.3 at level 6. This means he will never be forced out of lane. He never loses HP tanking jungle creeps. He can even be harassed in lane a little bit and he's not gonna care. And on top of that, he gets great stats, mana regen, and he can threaten towers much better than a normal Spectre. But the actual reason this item is good is that it kills a creep wave with 125 mana. Spectre at this stage needs more mana with the dagger to deal less damage to a creep wave, and then you have to hit each melee creep 2 times and the range creep, so that's like 9 hits, and that is a lot of time you're wasting in a wave to finish it off. Meteor Hammer amplifies your farming lane, and it also makes you super healthy thanks to Dispersion. It really is a great combination. I think if you're going Meteor Hammer, Threads is the best boost to have with it, just because thread switching, just like it does with Battle Fury, really increases your farming speed and mana capacity, farming and in teamfights. It is worth noting that Midone didn't use Meteor Hammer in jungle camps unless it was a stack, and that's because it's just much more effective in lane because you're doing more AoE damage. As a carry, trying to maximize farm, you want the lane farm, but you want to show in that lane as little as possible because as the win condition in any game, The enemy understands how shutting you down is important, and Spectre suffers from that because her wave clear prior to Radiance is complete garbage. Well, not anymore. Not only you have to show less when farming with Meteor Hammer, you can decide to not show at all, and this is really strong against heroes like Storm, Disruptor, Quap, Ember, Void Spirit. Oh well, I think those are the most played heroes in the freaking patch, and they can punish you really hard if you even for a second show when they are around. Watch how Midone can not only deal with the wave top, but instantly go bottom to farm. This is not only safer, faster, but it means he can get more farm by doing damage to 2 lanes at the same time. If that was not enough, because of the mana regen and thread switching, he deals with top, farms bot, and then haunts to the mid lane, where he kills the enemy carry, survives the Static Storm because he's tanky, and because of the Meteor Hammer, he deals much more damage to that tower in less time if you had a Yasha and whatnot. And let's not even start with the fact he wouldn't farm as much or maybe have mana to do all of those things in the first place. In terms of talents, things don't change much with this hero. You want to get the stats at level 10 since you already have insane HP regen in the first place, and the Spectral Dagger talent at 15. And after that, you're just getting the normal Spectre talents. Another small benefit of the HP regen Meteor Hammer gives you is the ability to skip the last point of dispersion at level 10 to learn your W, which increases your farming speed a tad bit and also makes your haunts more effective because the enemy loses vision when you have that ability and you're also doing a little bit more damage. This right here is a great example of how Meteor Hammer allows you to get farm you will never get with any other item, whilst making you safer. He gets glimpsed back to where he was thanks to Disruptor, but because he was here and not hitting a range creep to finish the wave close to the tower, not only he lives, but he also farmed everything which he wouldn't be able to with just dagger and attacks, and within that time frame, he would not only die but also farm less. Here, Midone was able to do all those things in top of wasting Radiant's time since they all TP there, and since he killed the creep wave, they cannot even group for a tower or anything, they're just wasting their time. Here we just have a very similar clip showing how annoying this can be on Spectre. Not only you're farming at the normal speed, you're getting farm you will never get elsewhere, whilst being able to run away from stuff because you still have your dagger ready. I already showed a similar clip, but I think I cannot stress this enough. Because Meteor Hammer kills a creep wave with one use, Midone never has to choose between being as effective as possible in fights or finishing those 2 creeps before haunting, and if that was not enough, he can crush fights before Radiance is up and have an impact destroying towers. And we already talked about it in the first video I made on how taking an early tier 2 tower makes your team's game much easier because of the outpost control, and well, there's no item like Meteor Hammer for doing that, at least when you're playing Spectre. I know what you're thinking. Midone is memeing. He's so good he can build Meteor Hammer on a League of Legends hero and still get 10k MMR in League of Legends. So well, let's watch other players going for the same build and style. Players like our boy Bananas Llama Pajama. He does exactly what Midone did, but with one small change up, he gets the slippers instead of the 4 branches, and I honestly prefer what Midone does because you're not gonna get a Wraith Band if you're rushing Meteor Hammer, because you don't really want to get a Wraith Band. I think that's just going to be lost gold, and with the branches you can actually eat your tangles and, you know, make your laning stage better, but this is minor. You know why skipping Wraith Bands is so good as well? Well, the tower now helps low base damage heroes much more than before, meaning you're not going to miss range creeps as much when you don't have any items. So rushing your Ring of Health to deal with the harass is twice as good since you don't compromise last hitting and you're still gonna be healthier so you can get more experience and more gold. At the end of the day, once Meteor Hammer is completed, you're being way less of a useless carry because you can push waves that will honestly put you in a terrible spot. But instead, you help your team and you get fast farm at the same time. It's a win-win situation. You might think Bowie is just trying to get free 727 views with a clickbaity title, but try this out in your pubs, and if you manage to lose with this build, I will get you a free view back to your YouTube channel. Leave the comment with your replay ID of your loss, and I will give you AdSense money guaranteed. But anyways, watch here how BSJ is able to take the wave and the tower mega fast because of the item. And as we already talked about, it doesn't slow his farming speed at all, it actually speeds it up. Another really cool thing you can do with Meteor Hammer is trying to farm a quadruple ancient stack with edgy threads instead of strength, so you're really low HP, and then you just feed track gold to the enemy bounty hunter. But overall, most things you can do with this item will make your game much faster and efficient. Try it out. We can actually see BSJ. He actually wins this game, by the way. That's a 7,000 gold lead for Radiant. And you can see how he's able to defend the tier 2 tower with his Spectral Dagger and Meteor Hammer at the same time. It's pretty much as he's playing Treant, but he's playing Spectre. And you might think this is clowny, but you know, holding the tier 2 tower is really important, and he does it without putting himself in danger. He's also getting farm. It's really hard to get any farm in a game that you're that far behind.
I'm so... Oh my god, I'm so fucking unlucky.
Do you feel like this playing Dota sometimes? Losing can be really frustrating, especially when you are to blame. What if there was a way to pick heroes and playstyles so good and so fresh in the meta that no one can counter you? Follow my weekly easy MMR meta guide on Patreon to start abusing strategies I'm yet to make a guide of. By selecting this Patreon tier, you will have access to the freshest ideas I'm yet to make a video of, or ideas that are really good but I don't think make a good video but are still important. This will give you an edge versus any player in your brackets. The meta guide is available every Thursday, and if you join before this Thursday, you will get the chance to vote on a hero you want a guide on. Guys, thank you very much for watching, commenting, and subscribing. In case you want a more premium experience than my Patreon meta guides, you can DM me on Twitter to get my coaching rates, and if you came back to Dota because of COVID-19 or the Compendium, join our Discord server to find some cool people to play with. I know how hard it can be to play Dota with strangers. Finally, if you don't care about the meta guides but you want to help the channel, check our Patreon rewards to see if any of them interest you, and if you want to see me play or cast, check my Twitch channel. Guys, have a good one, enjoy free MMR, bye.